Hi everyone, this is Tanya with Flying Dog Studio. Thank you so much for joining me for part 4 of our little watercolor pencil tutorial. Now if you haven't caught parts 1 through 3, check the description below because I will have that linked down in my courses. And if you'd like to take a look at any of my courses, just go over to my channel page and check out the courses tab. Now let's get ready for part 4. As you can see, we have the same palette up on the screen, so I'm not going to be going over all of the colors. If you want to know all of those colors, like I said, go back and check parts 1 through 3. I will be telling you about the new colors that we're going to put up on the screen. I'll hold those up slowly so that you can take a look at what we're doing. At this point, all of our layers have dried, and I'm coming back with even less water than I did in the previous video with our colors so that I can get some more detail on top. Now with any watercolor, the number of layers you put down, even if you have the same amount of watercolor ratio in your brush, you can build up darker colors just by layering them on top. I'm using the same colors, same combination, but I really want to make this area darker. All of these shadows, all of the shapes, I really want to just punch that home and finish this up. So I'm using even less water so that I can build up a thicker layer. Now you don't want to use it like acrylic paint. Don't hear what I'm not saying here, but you do want it just a little bit thicker so you can get some really sharp edges. You know, watercolor, if you add a lot of water to it, it's going to spread out. At this point, I'm wanting some areas, just like the little petal I did there, some areas that are more juxtaposition, that have some sharper edges on those colors. I'm not wanting them to spread out. There are so many ways that you can do watercolor. So many techniques, and this is only one of many. But if you're wanting to do a more realistic and kind of rein that watercolor in where it's almost like paint instead of watercolor, then you're just going to need to use a little less water, and that's the technique we're using in this one. So what you're going to see me doing is getting in some more of those little, I'm going to call them creases in the petals. You see me working on those there. I'm also on the right hand side here going to keep adding more color because if you followed along with the other videos, it has more of a shadow on that side. Not a hard shadow, but just a slight bit of a shadow so that that side of the flower is a little bit darker in the colors. It's a little more saturated. So that's what I'm doing on this. To get these shadows in, let me say once again, I'm not using black. I am using that steel gray, but it has kind of a blue base to it. So that's why I'm using the gray. I generally don't use grays or blacks to get my shadows in, but this mixes well with the plum and with that midnight blue down at the lower right hand, kind of right down there by my hand where I'm working. Those colors work really well to get the dark shadows in on this pink flower. Now, if you haven't followed along with the other videos and you would like to have the reference on this, then you can check out my blog and also the Instagram. I'm going to have this up along with my drawing. The links are down below. So you are welcome to download my drawing if you want to trace it. However you want to transfer it, that's perfectly fine. You are welcome to do that to make your own art and to follow along with this. And if you don't have watercolor pencils, that's okay too. You can use just regular watercolor and kind of match up the colors. And as I said in the last video, if you want to know what colors to put together, you can send me an email. That's over on my channel page, or you can comment down below and we'll work together as a community and get you in the right direction. So this is my process on this. Again, the same colors back and forth. I'm just going to be adding them a little bit heavier on here so I can get some deeper colors and some more shadows. So I'm going to be quiet for just a minute and you can enjoy some nature sounds while we finish up this little flower. talk about a particular petal that kind of helps us with other little petals on here, and it's the one I'm working on right now. This little petal comes toward us and has a harsh bend heading down to the center of the flower. So I'm starting my color at the darkest part of that petal right here where it is heading down into the flower, and I'm allowing the color to be dark there, and then I'm coming to the outside edges with the rest of the color that we used previously, same colors we used previously, and then I'm pushing those back down into the center, and then I'll come back at the very end, as you can see here, and start tapping those colors on top. You don't want to drag them. Once the petal is wet, or once the paper is wet, I should say, you don't want to paint those areas in when you come back with color on top when it's still wet. If you'll have quite a bit of paint on your brush and then tap it, that will allow you to get those darker colors on top and to get the shadows in. So basically we are starting with those dark shadows. Then we are adding our original color to the petals, pushing that into the shadow, and then finishing up with a little more of that dark shadow. And then that will complete all of the values for each petal. And you're going to see me doing that in every one of these. Each little petal is going to get the shadow, then it's going to get the original color. And then if I feel like I need a little more shadow, you'll see me come back and just, again, tap that shadow in. Don't paint it and drag it because it will lift the color. Just tap it in, it'll soak into the paper, and then you have a little bit deeper shadow on those petals. That finished our last little petal on this flower. Now I'm going to come back with one final sweep and add the darkest layers in, because as you know, with watercolor, you put it on, it gets lighter once it's on there because it soaks into the paper. So I'm coming back with those darkest shadows, and you'll see me just tap those in different areas. Now most of this flower is already dry because, again, I didn't use a lot of water, so there's not a lot of drying to do, but I'm going to come back at the edges and almost do a little bit of lining with my brush, kind of like Beatrix Potter here on some of this if you've seen some of my videos. But I'm going to go right along the edges. That's going to separate some of these petals, and I'm not going to do every edge. We're just choosing our edges. We're looking for the darkest area of shadow here. I'm going to go in on those. Then we're going to work a little bit in some other areas. Once all of this has dried, I'm going to come back and put the highlights in. So we're getting all of those shadows and lowlights right now. Then I'm going to come back with something a little extra at the end. And if you don't have what I have, we will talk about how you can finish this up with what you do have. We're going to work a little bit in the background, and when I say a little bit, I mean just a little. This was all blurred out. I don't want a lot of detail. This isn't the star of the show. The star of the show is the flower. So we're coming back and adding a little bit darker area in. I felt like the back was just a little too bright, plus that was our initial layer underneath because my first wash was super light, just to give me a little color. The last layer gave me a lot of color, and now I need to tone down some of those areas, kind of push it back a bit so the flower will come forward. So we're using some of the same colors before. I have added a couple of new ones here just to kind of give us a little bit difference in color. We don't just want solid green. We want to make some of our greens, so that's why we're adding that midnight blue in, and then I hit the steel gray just a little bit, and then we have that olive green there, and then we're going to come right back to our flower. We are finishing up just a few little areas here on the background, and now it's time for those highlights. And I promise I'm not sponsored by Winsor & Newton, but this is Winsor & Newton watercolor gouache. I'm using just a tiny bit of that. Now, if you don't have gouache, let's say you have a white colored watercolor pencil. You can use a watercolor pencil, a white watercolor pencil, but don't draw right on top of here and try to activate it. It's not going to work, I promise you. Instead, you can either use the textured palette like I've done here and with the other colors and get you some color like that, or you can wet your brush and paint from the tip of that watercolor pencil. Just brush it over the top and get a little paint on your brush from that, and then come back. You're going to get a thicker layer. If you don't have either one of those, but you do have some acrylic paint, you can use that as well. I've used that successfully with things like watercolor and colored pencil. Just make certain that you thin it out quite a bit. It's always better to add more than one layer than to have a hugely thick glob on top that you have to try to manipulate into the areas where you need it or to get it off of your painting. So a small brush, a lot of water. Now if you're using the gouache, I have thinned it out just a little bit, but you can see it on my brush. That means it's not too thin. It's a little on the thicker side. I know this is going to soak in, and I might have to come back on top and put some more. But what we're doing is we're looking for all of those highlights, all of the edges that we put color on, but it needs to be have a little more pop to it. This is how we are accomplishing that. We're using the gouache on top. So if you have made it this far, you have made it to the end of the video and the end of this project. Thank you so much for joining me. If you join me for all 4 parts, God bless you. I'm so happy you're here. And if you found something helpful, could you do me a favor? Could you like the video? Could you share it? Could you maybe hype it? That helps the channel so much, and it allows me to keep making these videos for you. Again, thank you for being here. If you have any questions, if you want to share your work with me, hit me up on the email. Send it to me. I love to see the work that you've done. Or you can tag me over on Instagram. I love to see what you guys are up to. Again, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the channel, I hope that you will subscribe. I have quite a few things coming up, and if you caught my poll over on my regular posts, it looks like Beatrix Potter has one out for my next project that I do. So you'll have to tune in for that, plus some other things we haven't voted on, but I've decided I really want to do. I have those coming up as well before the end of summer. I hope you'll join me for that. But until then, my friends, I will see you in the next one.